Hello world, it's BirdoPrey5 and welcome to Bed Life for Friday, August 2nd, 2019. Qapla! And if could there have been any better timing? I got it. Hello?
And what cardholder service is?
It's just a robocall. They tried to fake a number. They tried to fake the power company. I was on to ya. That's not what the power company sounds like when they call. And they always call to say, oh, there's, the temperature is expected, the heat index is expected to reach or approach 100 degrees. Power may be interrupted. When you sign up with the power company and tell them that, you have medical equipment that uses power, it means you get a phone call literally every day. It's going to be hot. Every day it's going to storm. Every day it's going to snow. A lot of days a year. Just in case you weren't sure. Do they tell you anything useful? No. What do they tell you? They say, oh, you might want to go to a hospital. Right, because hospitals just take people in for free who have nothing wrong with them and just say, I wanted to ride out the storm in the hospital just in case the power goes out. Or I wanted to hang out in the hospital just because the power goes out at my house. They'd be like, oh, are you sick? What's your problem? Nothing? Oh, here, you're being discharged because we're already too goddamn crowded. Small rant. Yeah, that doesn't work. I don't understand why they call every time to tell me shit's gonna happen like it's not summer.
Resume testing.
John Araki with a $1 super chat. Thank you so much, John Araki. Greatly appreciated. And let me see who else is here and what's going on. I know Joseph Patrick and Sci-Fi Guy were here before I started. Thank you guys for coming early. And let me switch on over to live chat. And you guys should switch on over to live chat as well. And there we go. So where are we? Yes, Joseph and Sci-Fi Guy were here early. Sci-Fi Guy was first after I started and said hello. John Araki says, Qapla, John Araki. Cinnabon Bunny says hi. Welcome, Cinnabon. I watched your short video. Very sorry. It's a space engineers thing. It's not serious. Shronmore says, greetings to BirdoPrey5, MamoPrey5, and fellow nerds. Greetings, Shronmore. Resolute Germ says hi, everyone. Hello, Resolute. We just saw Resolute on Lore Reloaded stream about a half hour ago. And we could talk some about that stuff, because I got to say, I was not agreeing with Lore Reloaded much. Although he did say some very nice things about the channel, so props for that. But I don't know that I agree with him on his thoughts on misogyny and TOS. And Mamopray even had something to say about it. Resolute Germ says, hi everyone. John Araki says, it's the International Drainage Commission in Springfield. I don't believe that's what we are. Life with Matthew says, howdy. BirdoPrey5, howdy, Life with Matthew. Life with Matthew did an amazing job on the Kuroga base, which you guys are going to see just a little bit of in a minute. Dan23 says, hey, welcome, Dan23. John Araki did his super chat. Thank you again, John Araki. And Shromore continues. And greetings to Sassy, chaser of cats, eater of cookies, stalker of cardinals, defiler of cushions, and scourge of the squirrels, and destroyer of helicopters. And I did it in one breath. Very good, me. John DeMarco says, hello all. Mystique LeBeau says, hello. Welcome, Mystique. Welcome, John. Dan23 says, I hate going to hospital appointments. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? John Araki got the lesbian kiss. Yes, is it lesbian though if they're aliens who were women, then became men, and then became women again? I don't know. I don't want to deal with that stuff. John Araki says, sweet. Showmore says I've got some weirdo robocalls. Oh, there is some terrible robocalls. Dan23 says, see lots of Star Trek news today. Yes. Well, obviously we got the Star Trek convention going on in Las Vegas. Oh man, I so wish I could have been there. But, I mean, I used to love Vegas. I would go to Vegas. Vegas and Arizona were my two top U.S. Vacation destinations. I don't know. I don't know why. I really... not just, I mean, the desert. I love the desert. But I also love northern Arizona. I mean, you got the Grand Canyon, you got Sedona, the mountains. I've been to the Grand Canyon during a blizzard, okay? My friends and I would rent it. I was driving. It was supposed to be a Jeep. Those bastards, they gave me a Pacifica. It was okay, but it wasn't great. We were caught in a blizzard at the middle of the night at the rim of the Grand Canyon. All the shit was closed. And driving down the road, a white fox crossed right in front of us. Now, what's a white fox? Well, if you're from New York City, a white fox is a wolf, okay? Because it looks exactly like a wolf. Apparently, there are no wolves in the Grand Canyon. So if you think you saw a wolf, you actually saw a white fox. But to us, in the car, like, holy shit, did a wolf just pass us? Only later did we find out no wolves. If it looks like a wolf, it's a white fox. But it still made us scared at the time. Really, really great times. Arizona. And Vegas. Vegas is where I had my 30th birthday party. A big party. Invited a lot of friends, a lot of family. Mama Pray was there. Dad'll Pray. Sister. Her friends were there. My friends were there. Good friends were there. Really good time. And I'd been to Vegas like maybe 6 or 7 times before that. And I don't drink really that much. I mean, granted, I drank because I was working for a liquor company. But at heart, I'm not a drinker. I never was. So it really was never about the alcohol. And I mean, I gamble a little bit. But I'm not like Mama Pray. She loves the slot machines. Mama Pray. In our childhood, we'd go to Atlantic City on family trips. My childhood. Mama Pray and Dad'll Pray would let us loose in the hotel. Now, they would take us to a hotel. It was called Trop World. And it was by Tropicana, but it was Trop World. They actually had Tivoli Pier, which they were smart. They had like a family destination for kids. So all the parents would come and drop their kids off. And it was like an amusement park inside a hotel, which was really cool. A lot of fun. But Mama Pray could spend days at the slot machines if she had the money. And they used to do pretty good back in the day. And Mama Pray did good in Vegas. She got a hell of a lot more comps than I did. Joseph Patrick with a €2 super chat. Never been to Vegas. Wanted to see Celine Dion. And you got Ski Clops as the animation. Celine Dion is not somebody I ever cared to see. She was performing while I was there. I went to shows like Sinatra Rat Pack revivals, and we did a Sopranos mystery. It was a dinner theater. Like you had dinner, and then you became part of the show. It was Sopranos Last Supper, they called it. We did that. I didn't go to any of the big shows, like the magic shows or the Circus Soleil, whatever the hell it's called. Carrot Top. Yeah, Carrot Top. I couldn't give a shit about Carrot Top. They had lots of big name people. Those things I didn't care about. The smaller things, those were the things I liked doing. I'm sorry, guys. I got a little off track. Trek. Yeah, Star Trek shirt for Vegas. Lightning close to my house, internet down, so I'll miss your stream. Says Thomas. Oh, very sad to hear that, Thomas Potts. Aw. We'll say we miss him. We do. We miss Thomas. You see, he should have listened to me and did his super chats early, and then we wouldn't have to miss him as much. But no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Thomas. We miss you. Not just for your super chats. See, damn, I thought I didn't want to have lightning near his house. My weather machine must be broken. Yosef says, Bird of Prey, with your love for Sinatra, check out the UK group Wet, 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 their album 10. I think you'll like it. I will take a look at it, Yosef. Are you sure it was a white fox, says Sharon Moore. It may have been a wolf wearing a bedsheet going to a rally. I get it. I got it. I get it. Where are we at? Mr. Londell's groovy movie, says Qapla, Mr. Londell. Life with Matthew says you're doing some Space Engineers live streaming today. Maybe. I'm not sure. We'll see. Resolute Bird of Prey, do you have a link for your Streamables donations? I do. It is, one way to get it is at birdofprey5.com, but let me get you the actual link, obviously, so that you can skip going to birdofprey5.com, but it is available there, and here it is. And I opened something by mistake. Hopefully that doesn't start to play. Here is the link. I'm putting it in the chat now. Streamlabs. Streamlabs donations, I believe, are handled by PayPal, so they technically come to me quicker and without YouTube, Google taking a big percentage of it. So it's preferred, but believe me, don't go out of your way if it's a problem. Super chats are fine too. I mean, I have no problem with either. Obviously, I'm not gonna say no to any of them. But yeah, if you don't mind and you have a PayPal account already, you don't need a PayPal account. But if you have one, you can just put it in that way. That saves some middlemen. Where are we? What I'm going to do is show you guys some of the Kuroga base for sure today on Space Engineers, but I don't know if I'm going to go stream it. We'll see what happens later in the stream. Mystique says, lol, wow, nice. I must have missed what that was for, but thank you, Mystique. Josh says, why is Bird's good twin brother doing the stream? First, evil god dictator Bird. Oh, come on, Josh Street. That hurts. Sharon says, you would think if they set up a robocall, they would at least get the name of the government department I'm supposed to give money to correct. Yeah, well, you know what? These people that set up these things, if they put in just a little bit more work, they'd be so much more successful. See, it's so hard to not become a scammer because I realized I'd be so good at it. Resolute says, Lore, let's face the fact he has 2 daughters clouds his judgment. I don't know. I mean, lots of people have daughters. I don't think it clouds their judgment that much. I think he honestly feels that way, and it's fine. I mean, people have different opinions. And not everybody's going to think the same thing. I like that, I like when I disagree with people sometimes. John and Rocky says, I ordered my Bird of Prey 5 mug, but now I gotta wait 2 weeks for delivery. And Resolute Germ donated $1, and you got Dancing Zoidberg. Resolute. Very cool. Thank you so much, Resolute Germ. And thank you, Dr. Zoidberg, for that lovely mating dance. The 2 weeks delivery is how long they claim it will take. I suspect it will be quicker. I can't promise. But I didn't pay for the expedited shipping once, and it came about a week, maybe a week and a day or two later. Whereas if you did the expedited shipping, when I paid for that, that was supposed to take like a week and it took like 3 days. That was just my personal experience. I can't promise it. But yeah, they're not Amazon in their speed of shipping. And I apologize for that, but you know, at least they do ship. At least you will get something. So I am sorry about the delivery speeds. Dan23 says one was a new Star Trek TNG a novel. Oh, the news? Very cool. Cinnabon Bunny says yes, the Borg cube was a little heavy. We successfully attacked with my other ships though. Very cool, Cinnabon. Yeah, so you guys might not know, and I wasn't sure if I was going to release that info or not early today because I felt like I was privy to some personal information, but apparently Turkestan might be at war with a certain faction that has both Cinnabon and Wesley Crusher in it, the two perhaps top 2 people in the game. Now, I haven't checked if Kuroga is at war with the Bun Nation, but last I checked, we weren't. So the tides may be turning, Anti-Trekker. The tides may be turning. And that might be the true reason Thomas Potts isn't here. Josh Street says, I thought a white fox was a white fox and not a white wolf. Maybe it's a gray fox? It might be a gray fox. You know what? Now that I think about it, I think gray fox. We'll look at it. You know, let's just do a quick look. Oh, and that is inside. That is a photo from inside the Kuroga base. By the way, you can see the great Kurogan flag. It's right when you come in the main entrance. I've got some secret laboratories off to the side, and there's some other stuff we won't talk about. But if you want to see the whole video, it is on my Bird O' Prey 5X channel. If you're so interested. Gray fox. Let's see. No, that's not what I saw. That's not what I saw. White fox. Well, closer, but it was gray. Maybe let's try this. Let's go to regular Google. Fox fix. Fox that looks like wolf. There we go. A maned wolf. Looks like a fox is called a wolf. Is closely related to neither. No! What's the fox that looks like a gray wolf? 11 dogs that look like a fox. I don't know. Now I'm not even sure what I saw. I could have sworn I saw a photo of, let's say, wolf photo. Okay, here's the deal. I saw something. We all did. We were all in the Pacifica, and something that looked a lot like this crossed right in front of the car. I would have said this was a wolf. But then, and said, nope, there's no wolves up at the Grand Canyon. And every confirmation I said, okay, there's no wolves. So perhaps it was a stray husky, or there's some type of fox that looks something like this, but a little bit smaller. That's all I can think of. And John Araki with another $1 super chat. Thank you so much, John Araki. Why was Anti-Trekker dancing on the screen? Are you saying Anti-Trekker is Zoidberg? I'm a little confused. Anti-Trekker is certainly not Zoidberg. Anti-Trekker has a lot more hair than Dr. Zoidberg, for one. Let's see. Where are we? Well, I'm way back on the chat already. We're off to a slow start. There we go. German Trekkie says hello. Welcome, German Trekkie. You're my newest subscriber. You subscribed during the Lore Reloaded stream. Very cool to see you. I'm glad you came by. I hope you enjoy the stream. Joseph says, and of course, hi to Joe, Mamo Pray, Sassy, and the Quarty community. Thank you, Joseph. Joseph says, Bird has a problem after he drinks half a shot. He can't tell the difference between a fox and a wolf. And John Araki says, White fox is racist. No, White fox is not racist. Dan23 says, go on. Some people joke and say Celine Dion has a long face. You know, I'm not in a position to make fun of anybody's looks, really. They have to be really, really messed up before I would make fun of anyone's looks. Come on. The only person I could even imagine making fun of their looks is Anti-Tracker. And that's just too easy. But aside from him, I can't make fun of any... Right, and as Mamo Pray points out, it doesn't matter what Celine Dion looks like. She's got a lot of money. That's what I'd be looking at. How do I get that money? I don't so much care about the person. Not that I hate the person. I don't love her. I just, she's a person. She's entitled to the minimum human benefit I would give anyone else that I didn't know in person. Joseph says, Berto Pray 5 with your love for Sinatra. Okay, I read this. Check out the UK group. Wet, wet, wet. Thank you, Joseph. Resolute says, no one gives a shit about Carrot Top. Indeed. Josh Street says, whatever happened to Carrot Top? He is, I heard he was waiting for HBO to make a documentary about the life of Richard Simmons. And then he was going to get an Emmy or something. Because he's like the perfect person to play a younger Richard Simmons. John Araki says, those smaller things, those things like those are the things I like doing. Out of context. Sean Moore says, Berto Pray 5. Yeah, you White Fox. Bed sheet. Dan23 says, I got bats outside the house at night. I get bats outside the house at night. Wow. Yeah, well, I tell you, Sister O'Prey, as much as she loves animals, she hates bats. Okay? She hates bats. She went up to my family's Adirondacks house one year with her friends, and they got to the house, and it's got this old rickety wooden porch, and there's no lights because we shut the power off, and she goes up the porch in the middle of the night, and I think they just had some flashlights on them, and she said this bat with like a 3-foot, according to her, like a 3-foot wingspan, maybe it was 1 foot, came like right at her, she almost fell back off the stairs of the porch, and ever since then, she has really, really hated bats. And I'll be honest, I do too. I do not enjoy bats. Bats annoy me. I don't like being around bats. But as long as they're flying further away from me, that's okay. I've been twice in, I think it was Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. There was a bat in the airport. It's like, geez, does Sky Harbor have a bat problem? I've been there twice. I've been to Sky Harbor many times, but twice there was bats flying around the terminal. One bat. Joseph Patrick says, and unfortunately, Celine Dion was not a joke. Otherwise, I'm a totally normal guy, but we all have some damages. It's okay, Joseph. I'm not going to hold it against you. John DeBargo says, perhaps a wolf in fox clothing. Perhaps. And I put in the Streamlabs link. Dan23 says, right now it's hot weather, but have to keep windows closed because of bats. Oh my God. German Trekkie says, how are you doing? I'm doing good, German Trekkie. How are you doing? And are you in Germany, really? Or are you just like German but living elsewhere. I have never been to Germany. I wanted to go. I was supposed to go in high school. We had a trip planned for Germany and Italy, but at the last minute, because of political unrest, protests going on in Germany, they changed it to Switzerland and Italy. So that's the closest I got to Germany. And then I worked for a company whose main product was Jägermeister. So there was a lot of Germans back and forth, and a lot of people in the company would go back and forth to Wolfenbüttel, where the Jägermeister plant is. But for all the traveling I got to do when I worked at that company, Germany wasn't up there. There was one year we were planning to go, but the trip got canceled about 2 days before. So I was kind of good because I didn't know if I'd have any luck being able to drive a stick shift car, which I believe was the only thing I could get a rental for. And I didn't speak a word of German. I was trying to watch Simpsons episodes with the German soundtrack on them, audio track, and it wasn't helping. Not Ryan Johnson says, hello in Qapla. I'm listening on my drive home. Need some bird rants. Oh, we'll get some rants, not Ryan Johnson. We'll get. I already started with a couple. Dan23 is lowering resolute, says should put it in the description to the streams. What? Oh, the Streamlabs link. Yes, I should. In fact, Streamlabs was putting it in automatically, but they were putting it in as the first line, so I had to turn it off. But I will put it in the description to the streams. Thank you much, Resolute Germ. Absolutely, it should be there. Streamlabs just confirmed your $1. Thank you. Josh Street says, why is Anti-Trigger dancing on the screen? Dan23 says, go Futurama or Zoidberg. Yeah, we got a lot of Futurama stuff. Darth Gilhoon is in the house. Says, hey, bird, welcome. Darth Gilhoon, I am so happy you got your computer back up and running, my friend. I saw your video earlier today. Darth Calhoun's computer got hacked, and but luckily it looks like most of his work, his YouTube files, were still there. So, the worst is hopefully over, but very glad you're back online, Darth. Dan23 says, your new answer to everything. They're not Amazon. Well, Amazon is, I love Amazon. I'll be honest. Amazon is, if Amazon didn't exist, my life and Mama Pray's life would be far harder than it is. You don't understand the amount of stuff that we get delivered from Amazon. Hardly a day goes by where we don't get an Amazon delivery. Stuff from my medication, my medical needs, things that we would not normally need to buy, or things most people might just go out to the grocery store or drugstore to buy. We order it. We order it from Amazon. It's cheap. It's fast. I mean, we're Amazon Prime members, so it comes pretty fast. And 99% of the time, it comes without issue. And that 1% of the time there is an issue, Amazon is quick to fix it. So, yeah. And plus, we get the free Amazon TV and the Alexa. And, okay, so maybe she occasionally hears me talk about shit, but if I was talking about anything that important, I would shut her off. Cancel! I know, somebody sent me a link to a story about how Alexa overhears people having sex and stuff. I'm like, well, I don't have to worry about it. Cancel! Alexa, fire photon torpedoes.
Photon torpedoes armed. Firing.
I mean, come on. So she overhears me during some private conversations. I can have her fire photon torpedoes. That clearly balances out. Dan23 says, we get foxes sometimes where I live. Very cool. Excuse me. Joseph Patrick's Secret Lab X channel sounds like Snoo Snoo Dungeon. It is not the Snoo Snoo channel. And Johnny Rocky gave another $1 before. Dan23 says, I don't need to see rats in town. Neither do I. Nobody needs to see rats in town. B says, try Grand Canyon Fox. Okay, let me bring it up. But I won't put it on the screen unless it's what I saw. Let's see. Grand Canyon. Would help if I could type. I wrote Grand Crayon. Grand, Jesus. Grand Canyon Fox. Maybe. Yeah, let me show you. Yeah, I could see this. Or is it a coyote? I'm not sure now. This is pretty close. This is pretty close. This is really small. Oh, geez, it had rabies. That's really small. This is more like it. Yeah, what is this? Oh, it's a coyote. It's a coyote. Maybe we saw a coyote, not a fox. That's very possible. It was a long time ago. Coyote, yes, is it? Coyote at Grand Canyon National Park. Okay, so it was a coyote, not a fox. Thank you to whoever suggested I do that search. Much appreciated. Because, yeah, it was starting to bug me. Coyotes. Well, it was a long time ago. So B, Cluette. Thank you, B. It was a coyote. Joseph says foxes are way smaller than the average dog, far from a wolf. I see them splattered on the side of some of the roads. Oh, that is sad. Wesley Crusher says, what's up, my friends? Welcome, Wesley Crusher. Good to see you. Oh, and Rudyard is here too. Rudyard, I'll get to your comment in just a minute. I'm a couple minutes behind, but good to see you here, Rudy. Dan23 puts in the wolf symbol. German Tracky says, well, I certainly will, and thanks for subbing back. Oh, you're welcome. I looked at your channel. I saw some Star Trek stuff. I saw the Odyssey blow up. You know, guys, check out German Trekky's channel. He's got like 400 subs. He's got a bunch of videos. If you want to see spaceships blow up, which is more than enough for me, that sold me. I just had to see that one video. I saw a spaceship blow up. I was like, subbing back. I'll look at the rest later. But yeah. Yeah, so that you got me, German. That was all I needed. I've seen your channel quite often, watched some other videos, but never subbed. Don't know why. It's okay. I understand. I mean, I mean, you know, when I'm done with any video, there's like, what, 15, 20 suggestions at the end of the video. You can't watch them all. Darth Calhoun, I've tried. Darth Calhoun says, German Tracky, Guten Tag, mein Freund. Yes, Darth Calhoun. Much more proficient at Deutsch than me. And German Trekkie says Guten Tag. Joseph Patrick says to German Trekkie a word I can't possibly pronounce. Schronmore says Joseph Patrick, Celine Dion is not the worst guilty pleasure. I used to like Aqua. Now that is shameful. Well, Schronmore, I don't even know who Aqua is. So at least I knew who Celine Dion was. Dan23 says some cars have dash cams on them so it records anything that would be in front of the vehicle. Yeah, now they do, some of them, but this was back in 2003 or 2004, and there were no No dash cams at that time. It would have been nice. It would have been nice. It also would have been nice if I had known we had fog lights, because we were in a lot of fog. I didn't notice we had fog lights until we finally made it back to the hotel that night, and I looked at the front of the car, and I was like, son of a bitch! I would have killed to know there were fog lights. I even mentioned, like, damn, I wish I was in my Jeep, I'd have fog lights at least, because it was that hard to see the road. And then I get back and I see it, there's like fog lights are right there, like, God damn you, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, I rented the Jeep and you gave me this. Actually, it was $1 Rent-A-Car. I rented a Jeep and they gave me a Pacifica. German Trekkie is smiling. German Trekkie says, I'm living in Austria, but I am German. Oh, very cool, German Trekkie. Well, I've never been to Austria either. Europe, I've just been to the UK. Well, London, technically. London and the area within London, France, Switzerland, and Italy. Maybe one day. Life with Matthew says, Switzerland. What makes a man go neutral? Yeah, neutral. Dan23 says, I have been in a supermarket when there's a bird flying around at the sun. Yeah, birds in supermarkets, birds in airports, birds in big box stores. Those are fairly common. I mean, it's happened to me. I've seen them. In fact, I even had to catch a bird once. We just threw a sheet over it and we were able to get it out. I remember in high school, my Italian teacher, who was a very effeminate man, we'll say, he was looking at the class, and obviously we're looking at him, and he's at the board, and he's like in the middle of the room, and you just see on his face like total dread, like all of a sudden he's like, I mean, I was a high school student, I'm looking forward, I know he's looking at something behind me, and I'm freaking the F out. I'm like, holy shit. If that guy is going, and Trek Yards is live. It's okay, Trek Yards. I'd love to see what you see on the Vegas floor too. If anybody wants to see Trek Yards, by all means, go ahead. They are live in Las Vegas. I can't compete with that. But my Italian teacher, he's like, oh my God, I thought the world was ending. Like I thought a nuke went off behind me. I couldn't imagine what he was so terrified at. It was one of these things that got seared into your memory. Just the sheer look of fright on this man's face. And it turned out to be a pigeon. A pigeon flew in the window. Because we had open windows. It was school. We had open windows. There was no air conditioning in those days in public schools. And a pigeon just happened to fly in the classroom. He was freaked out. Oh. And the students got it out because he was scared. He was like almost going to get up on a chair. Like, what the hell are you going to get up on a chair for? There's a bird. It can fly. It's not a mouse. Crazy times. But he was a good guy. Joseph Patrick says, Schronmore. But with me, it's borderline diagnosis. My wife once questioned my sexual orientation because of it. Wouch. Ouch. Maybe a little too much information there, Joseph. But having a basic music education, I can appreciate great voices. Schronmore, well, it's very good of you, Joseph. I don't question your sexuality. I mean, Celine Dion is a woman, best we can tell. I have no reason to doubt that. Schronmore says, Bird of Prey 5, some guys I used to work with were driving home. One of them reached out the window. He thought he caught a sweet wrapper, but a sweet wrapper, but when he looked at it, it was a bat he had caught in his hands. Why? Why would he do that? I mean, I remember driving, or my dad would be driving. I'd put my hand out the window, and you'd put it up and down, and it it would go like, like a wing of a plane and bring your arm up and down. And in the mountains, the beauty, I used to love that. Now, of course, I'm going to always think, even if the day ever comes where I can stick my hand out a window of a moving car, I'm going to hit a bat. Great. That would have been scary. Joseph says, German Trekkie, ich bin aus der Slowakie Nukbar Konet men sagen. Which, if I'm not mistaken, in English, ich bin means the itchy bin. Aus der Slowakie, that means Austria. And also Nachbar means also Madagascar. Kronot man Segan, that is a man juice, let's say. So something about an itchy box in Madagascar that contains man juice. Joseph, I think your wife might have been right to question it now. Darth Calhoun says, my family is originally from Bavaria. It was still a kingdom in the Second Reich before we went to the Ukraine to farm, and now in America. My family came here three generations ago for the most part. Some were here before that. And I really don't have a hell of a lot of history before that. Darth Gilhoon says, Donkey Bird, you are welcome. Wesley questions Bird of Prey, how are the Kurogans? Did you find the dead Borg cube? I have not. I didn't even tell Life with Matthew, if you're still here, Life with Matthew. There is apparently a giant Borg cube fell to the ground somewhere near Anti-Trekker's Earth base in Space Engineers. There's a ton of resources. It could even conceivably be converted into a base. Unfortunately, it's not flyable anymore, but it would be a lot of resources to either be ground down or just converted into some sort of base, but I don't have the time to go looking for it. Schoenmore says, Joseph, my wife has a similar reaction when I studied fine art in college. And John DeMarco is yelling, cancel. Oh, yes. Yes. Mystique is lolling. Rudyard is here. Welcome, Rudyard. Says, hey, Bird of Prey. Happy to catch your stream today. Thank you so much, Rudy. I think we agreed on Rudy. Dan23 says, in The Simpsons, Utter is a foreign language student from Germany. But if you watch The Simpsons in certain countries, they change where the character is from. Oh, very interesting. I did not know that. German Trekkie, says Joseph Petrick. Toll fantastic und ja summit toll in paar Trekkies in relativa naha zu haben. Well, I would translate that, but that is just awfully dirty. I can't. YouTube would shut down the channel. Resolute Germ says she can fire photons and she'll snitch on you to the cops. Alexa, yes. Shroud Wars is Bird of Prey. Next time you plan to destroy part of a city with a meteor, you should tell Alexa to fire photon torpedoes for sound effects. Very good suggestion, Sean Moore. Wesley has to go. Later, everyone. Take care, Wes. Darth Calhoun says, I had to download OBS Filmoma, and all my games and mods again, but glad my files were safe. Very cool. And Darth Calhoun says, I get coyotes in my land. We get to shoot at them from the porch when they forget we are a threat to them. Shroudmore says, coyote is a breed of wolf as far as I know. Really? I never knew that. Dan23 says she's a sex monitor. Darth Calhoun says I got a 90% accuracy on them. Well, you know, as long as it's a clean shot, you don't make them suffer, Darth. German Trekkie says thank you. Also, will be here an entire. Thank you. Also, there will be an entire show. a new Trek show. Nicole says coyotes and foxes bred with wolves, if I recall right. They can breed with wolves. But if there's no wolves in the area, it makes it hard. Dan23 says there was an article in the news today, and Joseph Patrick with a €2 super chat. Thank you, Joseph. Says, your Deutsch is flawless. You're a naturalist. Oh, thank you so much, Joseph. That means my German is excellent and that I'm a naturalist. That's what he said. Very cool. Where are we? Dan23 says there was an article in the news today.
Indications negative at this time.
And you got Dax. You got Dax giving the eyebrows, which you can't see me raising my eyebrows because she was in front of me, but trust me, I did. Dan23 says there was an article in the news today that iPhone was going to change its settings on microphone as it sends some stuff to them to do analysis. They were hearing personal things. Yeah, I saw that on the news too, that Apple was going to stop sending sound clips to humans. Apparently, Apple was sending sound clips that Siri overheard and having humans give it a grade, like an A to F grade. I don't know. I guess as to how well Siri understood what they were saying. And so people were actually listening to often personal conversations, fights. They said they even heard possible sexual assaults being picked up. I mean, when you have millions and millions of devices, obviously you're going to pick up a lot of weird things. Does it make me fear the fact I have an Amazon Echo in my house at all? No. No, I don't. If I ever notice she overheard me saying something particularly embarrassing, which for me would be very difficult because I'm pretty much an open book to you guys anyway, but let's say there was some real secret I didn't want to get out and I saw that she overheard it, I do understand and know that I can go to the Amazon website and supposedly delete that record from my account. Would I do it? It would have to be something pretty bad. It sounds like a lot of work for something I really don't care about. Joseph says, Bird of Prey 5, do you know the Barbie song? It's by Aqua. I do not, Joseph. I have no idea what the Barbie song is. Shrowmore says, Joseph, I told you my guilty pleasure was shameful. Joseph says, Shrowmore says, shall I make birds sing it? I don't recall it offhand. Dan23 says, I do not like the film Coyote Ugly. I'm not sure I saw it. I mean, I heard of it. Joseph says, Dan23 can't fight the moonlight. I'm guessing that's a song. Dan23 says, Joseph Patrick, I'm not a fan of that song. Mr. Lundell. Mr. Lundell, welcome. I mean, you were here earlier, but thank you for chiming in. He says, I remember once a hawk flew into a chemical plant I used to work in. Spent most of the day perched on top of phosphoric acid tank. Wow, well, I hope the hawk made it out, because the hawk is a bird of prey. Joseph says, I stay with Bird. We'll watch Trek Yards later. They only read super chats. Yeah, that does happen. Mystique says, what a wimp. Schronmore says, Joseph, he has suffered enough. Barbie Girl or Dr. Jones will have to remain a guilty pleasure. Dan23 says, love spaceship explosions. I have GIFs of on a GIF website. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, some of the animations that come up when you give a super chat or subscribe or donate are spaceship explosions. But there's like, I don't know, 25 or 30 different animations I set up. Actor says, phosphoric acid. Do you have any left, Mr. Lodell, for using when one of those anti-Trek or Uber chats bleach isn't working anymore? You don't want to put phosphoric acid in your eyes, Hector. That'd be bad. Chris M. Collecting is here and says Karoga will fall, but we will get back up. Hector says being plastic, it's fantastic. Shrugmore. Mr. Londell says to Hector, you need something a bit stronger than phosphoric. You might want to go with nitric acid. Mamo Pray 5 says, hi all, please hit that like button. Thank you, Mamo Pray 5, for that. And did you want to say anything about what was going on before about the Star Trek TOS, or you don't really?
Oh, if you want me to.
Yeah, why don't you? So for those of you who were at Lore Reloaded's stream earlier, Lore Reloaded was talking about how he felt that TOS was misogynistic and that it was perfectly okay to judge what we saw in TOS, the original series obviously, by our modern current standards. Of course, Lore is a relatively young guy. He's younger than me. And he doesn't understand, perhaps, or maybe he doesn't know, that the women who were adults when TOS had come out, for the most part, they were not raised with the same values women are raised with today. And even Mamo Pray has said this many times. I've heard her talk about this in the past. But when Mamo Pray was growing up, yes, she was all for equal rights for women, I'm sure. Right? You weren't against equal rights.
I was for equal rights for everyone.
Even Turdistanis.
Well, I don't know about them.
Oh, okay.
Okay, everyone. I mean, I was growing up in the 60s. Vietnam War, flower children, oh God, drugs galore. It was, I don't know, turbulent times. But my family and many middle-class families we weren't taught as women or girls to grow up for a career. You were taught you were going to graduate school, high school. College really wasn't a way to get a career. The ones that went to college to find a husband. Ones that didn't go to college went to work. But the goal was to get married, have children, and have the man take care of you. That was the whole, I don't know, how do I put it? That was the accepted values of the time. Now, I went to work at a young age, and talk about going to get interviews. I walked out of more interviews because it was accepted practice. I mean, I went to one office. It was in Manhattan. I forget the name of it. And I went through the questions and whatever. And as the guy put his hand on my knee and said, well, you know, we could make a better arrangement for salary. And I didn't make a big deal out of it. I didn't call the cops. I didn't go. I just said, no, thank you. I got myself up and walked out of there. And that was just one incident. It was the way it happened. I'm not saying it was right, but it was the times. And
I think the part was that's what you didn't want necessarily a career. You were going to work for money, but you weren't picturing your life as that you were going to be working for the better part of your life.
No.
Your goal wasn't to work.
No.
Your goal was to get married, have a husband that could take care of you, and you would raise the kids and take care of the house.
And that's what I did. And I'm happy I did it.
But that wasn't sexist.
No.
If a man married you and said, expected you to be home, it wasn't because he was being sexist. It's because that's how it was accepted practice. That was the way things were.
Right.
Okay.
I didn't go to work until your sister was in junior high school.
My sister's younger than me, for
Yeah.
those who don't know. Right.
Yeah. And then it was just for something to do. Okay, bye guys.
Yeah, so Mama Prey, she didn't feel TOS was misogynistic, and she was a teenager when TOS was on. So I think she is a better person to ask about this than, a millennial. Just my opinion. Not that I think he's not allowed to have his opinion, but if you're going to listen to somebody's opinion, listen to somebody who lived it. And make your own. Make your own decision.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Everyone did think TOS was ahead of its time. Okay, you help me with names here.
Captain Kirk, Uhura.
Yes,
Sulu.
the whole crew. And
Chekhov.
Chekhov.
Russian.
Everybody seemed to be equal on that show, which was what the young people in that day wanted. Nobody wanted...
people to be more equal.
Right. Nobody needed to be more equal. Everybody just needed to be equal. And unfortunately, I think today's generation has gotten away from that. Bye.
So there you go. First-hand experience with TOS. Something I couldn't offer, and even Anti-Trigger's a little young to offer. Although he started as a kid, Mama Prey was a bit older.
No, nobody's older than Anti-Trigger.
Nobody's older than Anti-Trigger.
I'm joking.
Maybe he forgot it. He didn't remember till he saw it the second time. Where are we?
I'm sorry,
No, it's fine. No, I was happy you chimed in. Actor says, thanks for the reminder, Mama Prey, to hit the like button. Dan23 says, what do you think was the best torpedo sound in Star Trek? Is it the Klingon battlecruiser in the motion picture or something else? Dan, it's not something I ever dwelled upon. I'm not an audiophile. Even when I could afford and I purchased a super surround sound system, I used to just keep it off most of the time because it didn't seem like it was even worth the electricity to the difference I heard between that and just the standard stereo speakers. So like my current TV is a flat panel TV, so the speakers on a flat panel TV are kind of sucky. In the olden days, when TVs were thicker and bigger, they had better speakers because there was more room. So what I have is just a pair of external high-end computer speakers being used as the speakers for my television now. And that is more than enough. As to what sound sounded better, I can't honestly say. Certainly the Enterprise firing torpedoes sounded good. You got your bird of prey firing torpedo, your Klingon bird of prey. The Romulan one fires a plasma weapon. But the Klingon bird of prey firing torpedo, that's good. I don't know if I'm in a position to say one sounded better than the other. I'm sorry. And Joseph gave me his super chat about my Deutsch being flawless. Thank you, Joseph. Again, Dan23 says, do you like the Stargate TV show? Dan, I love it. I love SG-1. I really like Stargate Atlantis, although I was never a fan of the Wraith. The Wraith was kind of a sucky villain, in my opinion. I wish they had a better villain. And I tried, but I really couldn't get into Stargate Universe. But SG-1 and Atlantis, I could rewatch those as often as I rewatch Star Trek, TOS, TNG, and DS9, Voyager, and Enterprise. They're all equally as good. Actually, I kind of like the humor in SG-1 and Atlantis quite a bit. They're definitely good shows. Joseph says Dax is a fox. She is. Both of them are. Joseph says 23 watching. We need 23 likes. Well, that would be cool. The actor says the only foreign language he does well is German. Well, that confirms some theories. As a kid, I always, my first foreign language in school was Spanish. There was no choice. Spanish was the only language they offered in junior high. Then when I got to high school, since I'd done so sucky a job at Spanish, I figured, well, I'd try Italian, because technically my heritage is mostly Italian. Of course, no one in my family speaks Italian, or spoke Italian. The furthest back was my great-grandmother, who had long passed away by the time I had hit high school. She had passed away by the time I hit kindergarten, to be clear. Apparently, she spoke Italian. But after she passed away, that was it. But there was nothing natural. It didn't come easy to me. For some reason, when I would look at German, even though I had no formal training in it, I just felt like if I could sound out the words, I could get just the gist of what it was saying. And I'm sure that was just got lucky on some things. But yeah, I always say if I had to really try to learn another language at this point, since I know absolutely nothing, I remembered almost nothing from Spanish or Italian, I'd probably start with German. Darth Calhoun says, so the hunter's job is not to let the animal suffer, but sometimes it's unavoidable. I understand sometimes it's unavoidable, but you don't want to be an a-hole who gets off on that, because I have seen people who do. German Trekkie says, oh, unfortunately, I have to say a good day to everyone. Take care, German Trekkie. I'm sure you've already left, but thank you for coming by. Maybe you'll listen to this later. Guten Tag. I think that's right. Joseph says, Hector, trust me, the German is as good as his other languages. I see what you're saying. And Joseph says something to German Trekkie. Dan23 says Dax, lol. Joseph says watching on a mobile device. Close chat, hit like, reopen chat, make Mamo pray happy. Dan23 is also watching on mobile. Agner says I did that, Joseph, worth the hassle. Resolute says Lore has 2 daughters, his judgment is corrupted. I feel like I read that already. And Rudyard says, even by our modern standards, TOS is far from misogynistic. There were characters that displayed some aspects of misogyny, but the series as a whole was hardly misogynistic. What I say is that not only was it hardly misogynistic, it wasn't at all misogynistic. See, people are confusing, because they're using today's values, where they see women in short skirts, and like, oh, those poor women, they were being objectified. No, that is bullshit. The women weren't being objectified. The women were celebrating the fact that they were allowed to wear that stuff. Because if you were a woman on TV back in those early days, you couldn't wear that stuff. Okay? think of I Love Lucy. They had to sleep in separate goddamn beds. They couldn't even sleep in the same bed, and they were married. So you think you're going to put a woman on broadcast television wearing a mini skirt and having an important job aboard a military vessel? No! No, that was crazy. But vessel. A nuclear vessel. No, a military vessel, yes. No, that was crazy, but they did it. That was, That wasn't them being taken advantage of. That was, I mean, yes, I'm sure guys oogled at them because that's what guys do. If you're a heterosexual guy, you are attracted to women in scantily clothes. But as long as you're not going over there and rubbing up against them and fondling them, you know what? You can look. That doesn't make you a bad person. Actor says equal rights for Turdistanis is a tough struggle. Yeah, well, they brought it upon themselves. Alex Brooks says hello. Welcome, Alex Brooks. Schronmore says hi to Alex. Dan23 says can't remember who, but there's one person on YouTube who refuses to believe that TOS, Balance of Terror, the Romulan ship is a bird of prey because it never gets called it on screen. Yeah. I don't remember who that is either. But I got to tell you, I bought models as a kid that clearly said Romulan bird of prey on them, and they were licensed stuff. So, if you go to Eagle Moss, it's called a Romulan bird of prey. If you go to the encyclopedia, the books, it's called a Romulan bird of prey. So, yes, there's a Romulan bird of prey, and there was a Klingon bird of prey. And yes, it was confusing. It was probably a stupid thing to do, but it was done, and we got to live with it, and that's fine. Nicole Malo says bye to Mom, because you had finished talking. I assume that's when she said bye, Mom. Life with Matthews as TNG was a lot more revealing with the ladies' outfits than TOS ever was. Well, they were certainly different. They were different. I don't know. I'll tell you, I would say that the character of Troy was literally just there for sex appeal. There was no TOS character who was only there for sex appeal. Troy had no other purpose on TNG. So in that respect, I'd say TNG might have been more misogynistic than any other, though I still don't call it misogynistic because sex appeal does not mean misogyny. Sex appeal is a valid thing, okay? We have whole industries based on sex appeal, modeling, acting. The physical attractiveness of an actor or actress is totally figured into the parts they get. It's not wrong. It's not illegal. It's not even immoral. Okay, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of models, modeling agencies. When I was working for Sidney Frank Importing, the liquor company, we would hire models, and models had to look good. That was the point. Okay, we wanted people who look good, both male and female, to sell our products to other people because of human chemistry of the brain. You're more accepting to talking to listening to someone you find physically attractive. That's just science. Is it ideal? No. But you can't change that fact. All of the laws in the world are not going to change the fact. Okay, so I mean, we accept modeling. Modeling is allowed. Modeling is a profession. Beauty contests are legal. They're professions. There are plenty of people who make their living off of looking good. So why do we want to pretend that looking good doesn't play a part in our world? Okay, I mean, if I could make a living off of just looking good, you're damn right I would. But you know what? It's hard. It's hard work, too. I mean, very few people wake up in the morning and just look good. There are some, okay? And they do a lot. They make a lot of money. But those people are the few and far between. The people who make their lives, their livelihood looking good, they're probably in the gym as a full-time job, okay? They're not going to eat the cake. They're not going to eat the steak or the burger or the bread that I will, right? Because when I eat dinner, I eat until I'm not hungry. And yeah, it's probably not the best for me, but I don't make a living looking good. I mean, maybe I should skip a couple of meals now that I'm on YouTube, but neither here nor there. If I was an actor, if that was my main job, I would put more effort into looking good. So why do we say, oh, it's so terrible that, they had good-looking women in little clothes and they were being taken advantage of? No, they're not being taken advantage of. They're being paid to be there. Nobody's forcing them to be there. It's all messed up. It's all gone to hell. Yosef says, Bird of Prey, we are all subscribed to you solely because of your looks. I don't know if that's more disturbing Yosef, than not. But, you know what? Whatever it is. I have 1,423 subscribers. Statistically, one of them is probably subscribed to me for my looks. I will grant you that 999 people out of 1,000 are not going to find me physically attractive. But it doesn't mean nobody is. So probably there is actually one person. Now, if that person happens to be a male or female, I don't know. And it's fine that I don't ever find out. But it's possible. Mr. Lundell says, sounds like love is just jumping on a lore is just jumping on a bandwagon. I don't want to say that. That kind of sounds insulting. I trust he probably believes that. I mean, I know lore has different opinions on things than mainstream Trekkies, or nobody owns an opinion. Well, I guess you can have your opinion, but there's no right answer. I feel I'm right, but definitively, can I prove that the way I feel is right? No, but I will act like it. But I'm not going to say Lore's jumping on a bandwagon. He has no reason to. He's got more subs than just about anybody. Maybe not Nerdrotic, but he's certainly up there. He doesn't need to jump on bandwagons. Rudy says, Mama Prey sounds like an awesome lady. She is. And maybe one day she will do her channel. Thank you, Rudy. If you guys want to subscribe to Mama Prey's channel, though there's no real content on it yet, if you go to birdoprey5.com, there'll be a link there to subscribe to both Mama Prey and my Birdo Prey 5X channel. They'll both be on the same line. Mr. Lundell says, Mama Prey is a very wise lady. She is. Nicole says, well, I'm 52, so don't know. Yeah, you would have been 2 years old. Yeah, it's a little young. Life with Matthew says, Bird of Prey 5, you should jump into Space Engineers before I sign off. I've been expanding. Okay, Life with Matthew. Let's see. What can we do? Let me get Space Engineers up. That was at 5:53. What time are we at? 6:08. Okay, we're not too far behind. Let me get Space Engineers up. The only thing I have to do is I want to shut off all our GPS coordinates, or we'll give away the base location, which I don't want to do. Even if they just see how far we are away from Anti-Trekker's base, that's too much. Anti-Trekker's in the house and says, what did Lore say? Lore agreed that TOS might have been misogynistic, and Gene Roddenberry certainly was. It wasn't terrible. He didn't say, oh my God, TOS needs to be pulled from the airwaves or anything like that. He just felt that Kate Mulgrew was probably he didn't disagree with her. He said that it was that she's been saying things like that for a long time, and she was, probably mostly right. So, yeah, Laura argued TOS was sexist. That's the way to put it. And I will get back to the comments where I left off, and just waiting for Space Engineers to start. I'm going to make sure that I've got GPS coordinates off, and let me shut off the microphone audio so that you guys don't hear the game too loud. Not the microphone audio, the speaker audio. There you go. There you go. Okay, F. Okay. That seems good. Okay, now bring up the game and Streamlabs. No, it's not Streamlabs. It's XSplit in XSplit. There we go. Okay, so you guys will see. This is where I put my stuff before I go back into the cryo tubes, just because I feel it's a little safer than the cryo tubes. We've had some cryo tube failures, and Life with Matthew has a box, and Commander Shutter has a box, and anyone else who wants to join Team Kuroga has a box. And I can hear somebody is welding away. Life with Matthew is in here somewhere. Where are you, Life with Matthew? This is the main entrance and exit of the base. You can see we've got the great flag of Kuroga. Are you up there? I hear it. There's knocking around. There's definitely construction going on. But I pledge allegiance to the flag of Kuroga, the holy armed empire to which it stands, one people, under bird, who pledge to bring order and peace to a galaxy of chaos. And we also pledge to Sassy, may she always have plenty of treats, and birds, and bones of dead Turdistanis to bury. And that is the Kuroga Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, there, I see some going on in here. I see. Where are you, Life with Matthew? I saw some, come on, where are you? I can hear it. There you are. Anything you want to show us? We got some real mazes going on here in Space Engineers, and now I've lost them. Oh, that's going to the basement. But oh, what is this? Oh, this is a whole new room. Very cool. Very cool. I see I'm going to have to come in and add some guns. That's what I do. I add the defenses later on. What is that? Is that a reactor? I don't know. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, it's a hydrogen tank. It's big. It's big. I'll tell you that much. Wesley doesn't anyone find the board cubes. Shrelmore says, will we see Bird of Prey have a Gaul sarcophagus? No, no Gaul sarcophagus. I can't seem to walk up the steps, which is, I suppose, not terribly surprising. How do I get back to the base? I think this brings me to the front of the base, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it does. And here is my temporary throne. Just lets me watch over what's going on. Shit. Almost saw outside. That's a problem. It's a bug in the game. So yeah. Yeah, let me get in the cryo tube, and I will leave the game running in case I need to get back to it, but then I'll get back to the comments. I usually go for this cryo tube. Okay. So let's see. Will this system work with the game running? There we go. There we go. Okay, so Dan23 says, I used to have First Contact DVD and turned up the volume in the board cube battle, but never thought it was very high sounding. I didn't touch around with the volume control setting. Interesting. Sci-Fi Guy says, sassy behind you, very cute. Oh, was she walking behind me? That's very possible. Mr. Lundell says, no one got into Stargate universe. Yeah, very few, very few. Rudy says, hi chat, have to go. Glad to catch the stream. Mamo Pray was a treat. Hope to be able to catch you all again real soon. Have a good day, everyone. Thanks. Thank you, Rudy, and take care. I'm glad you could come by. Actor says, Bird of Prey, I saw an erotic video thumbnail with your Make Klingons Great Again hat. Yes, Nerdrotic is in Las Vegas right now, and he's got my Make Klingons Great Again hat with him in Las Vegas at the Las Vegas convention of Star Trek convention. That means the potential is there for like people like William Shatner, who Nerdrotic is going to meet, and other Star Trek greats to witness. They could see, they could even touch. Maybe he'll even get them to sign the Make Klingons Great Again hat. Could you imagine that if Nerdrotic was able to get Make Klingons Great Again hat signed by, I don't know, Michael Dorn? Wow. Wouldn't that be freaking amazing? You know, it'd be his, don't get me wrong, it'd be his, but that would just be so freaking awesome. I would feel amazed if he could do that. Just knowing that it was, I'll grant you, it didn't take a genius to come up with Make Klingons Great Again, but I did it. I was the one who did it. So, it's just really cool to know that I had some little part in something that's made it out to Comic-Con Las Vegas. Speaking of Comic-Con, Comic-Con New York. Yes, the city I live in. Comic-Con New York is this October. October 2nd through 5th or 6th or something like that. It is a distance for me. It is not someplace I could get to easily. And truth be told, I haven't been into New York City in 7 or 8 years. And even when I went, it was not a good experience because we were afraid the van was on fire at one point. Mamo Pray pulled off the highway and tried to evacuate me from the van convinced the van was burning. She did evacuate me. I was like, come on, man, just let me sit in the van, go open the hood. She's like, no, it could be on fire. Oh, we got out of the van. Getting out of the van is no easy task, and getting back in is even harder. So, yeah, it did not go well. But I was looking, and it is expensive, but it would not be out of the realm of possibility of hiring a private wheelchair van service that could conceivably take me to the Javits Center or anywhere else in Manhattan, because that is where Comic-Con 2019 New York is happening. Of course, I really only recently thought about going, and all the tickets for Comic-Con except Thursday morning are sold out. And Thursday, there's not going to be anybody there because, as we saw in Vegas, no one's there on Thursday. The stuff doesn't really start till Friday. Saturday is the big day, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the 4-day passes are all sold out. So, it's unlikely I would be going to New York Comic Con this year. But I will certainly try to remember to get tickets for next year as soon as possible. But I know Nerdrotic is going, and he mentioned that he would be up for a meetup for, people in the New York area, which wouldn't be at Comic-Con. It would be somewhere, I assume, in the general vicinity of Manhattan. So, I don't know. I will see. I would have to see how I feel. But there is a potential that I could perhaps make a trek, not only in the wheelchair, but in a wheelchair van to Manhattan, and possibly be up for meeting Nerdrotic and anyone else who might come to New York Comic Con. It's something I have to think about. It's expensive as hell. I'll be honest. Just to get the van for a few hours, we're looking at over $600. But I would do it if I was feeling good, if I was feeling up to it, and some people were going to be there. It'd be money well spent as far as I'm concerned. But it's hard to plan that far out in my current condition, because whenever I plan out, unfortunately, bad things seem to happen. So I'm not planning that far out. It's just a possibility. I don't know if anyone else is coming to New York Comic Con, but if you are, let me know. Let me know what your schedule is. If you're interested in meeting up someplace, certainly if anybody wanted to come, my house is about a 20-minute Long Island Railroad train ride from Penn Station. And there are a lot of restaurants near my house. If anybody wanted to come this way and meet up at a local place, that would be damn near ideal. That I could almost guarantee I would be at. But the potential exists for heading into Manhattan myself and meeting up with some people there. We'll see. Just something to keep in mind. Dan23 says Stargate shows have good explosions. They do. Joseph says my mother always says how miniskirts were a big rebellion against the grown-ups. Yes. So yes, many aspects that we show today with sexist were actually a sign of freedom. Exactly.
I have a story.
Oh, Mama Pray's got a story.
I have a miniskirt story.
Okay.
I was maybe 15 or 16, and my father, who was a quiet man and didn't really take a hand in raising a daughter. I mean, he was always there if I had questions, but he didn't interfere. And I was going out, and I had on a miniskirt, and he looked at me, and the only thing he said is, You don't have stockings with garters on, do you? You've got those one-piece things? There were pantyhose that had been, not out so many years. I said, don't worry, Dad, I've got pantyhose on. I'm covered. And that was it. That was my mini skirt story.
Okay.
But yes, they were rebelling.
They were rebelling. Yes, they were rebelling. You weren't doing it because guys were forcing you into looking that way. Joseph says FFS. It's half a century of cultural development, or devolvement, perhaps. Nicole says Stargate Universe has a Star Lost feel to it, but was okay towards the end. Kind of fell apart. The lost episode was dull. I didn't know about a lost episode. Actresses, mini skirts, and bikinis. Dan23 says TNG unisex skirt uniform was terrible. John DeMarco says there was nothing misogynistic about TOS. I agree. And yeah, Dan23 is questioning this lost episode of Stargate 2. Actresses, I differ. There was a little sexism here and there, but it was tame for the time. See, that's the thing. It was certainly tame for the time. Nicole says, sorry, I typed like a drunk Wookiee. Oh, last episode, not a lost episode. You got the hopes of thousands, well, dozens of Stargate fans up for just a short time, Nicole. Dan23 says, not saying anything rude. I heard something today. They said the Flintstones was the first TV to show a couple in bed. That's possible. I didn't say that. I didn't say I Love Lucy was. I just said that they still in I Love Lucy were using separate beds. A lot of TV shows from back in the day were using separate beds. Schronwar says this is misandry in the dumpster fire that STD. There was misogyny in TOS. Anti-Tracker says, wait, I came to hear Bird saying that we want them to look good, both male and female. Well, you missed some of it, Anti-Tracker. John DeMarco says also acknowledge the differences between males and females is not misogyny. You guys, I know I don't often do this because I don't like to get into the politics too much. But for those of you who are, you might have already seen it. I believe I posted it on Anti-Tracker's Discord. If you are, or if you're not if you know Dave Cullen, yes, Sassy, Dave Cullen, the ginger Irish guy, the Computing Forever guy, he does great videos. And he put out a video on YouTube yesterday that has been removed. I believe he took it down because it says this video was removed by the user. I don't know why he took it down. I don't know if YouTube made him take it down. But he put out a video about gender roles and this big lie that people have been being taught now for decades. And how women, happiness, and how women were sold this bill of goods about how they need to get a job first and then have kids and all this stuff. You guys everybody should watch that video. Okay, whether you disagree with it, fine, make a good argument. But you should watch the video because I thought that was the most truth bombs I have seen dropped in a video maybe in my life. Like, I watched that video and like, holy shit, there is no way YouTube is going to allow this video to stay up. And sure enough, within a day it was down. But it is on BitChute. And it is on Dailymotion if you go to his website, computingforever.com, I believe. So it is out there, but you're not going to find it on YouTube unless you already saw it on YouTube when he premiered it. But it is a great video to watch, and honestly, I believe a lot. I think he hit the nail on the head quite a bit. Joseph says, Bird of Prey, we have subscribed to you only because of your looks. Yes, I read that earlier. Still disturbing, Joseph. Dan23 says TOS Uhura wears red but in 1 or 2 episodes. She's wearing a yellow uniform. It's possible. I don't recall her wearing yellow, but it's very possible. If you look at the very first episode that they made, but it wasn't the first episode they aired, the uniforms were different. I forget what the name of the episode was, but it was the episode where they have to go outside the galaxy barrier, and some guy gets superpowers, and Spock is like, we gotta kill him or something. That was the first episode they shot, but they aired it like 2 or 3 episodes later because it didn't have McCoy, I think. It was missing McCoy, and once they got McCoy, it was a much better dynamic, and they had better uniforms, and TOS was there was a lot more to forgive in TOS because it was the first time they were doing it. They were still getting things straight. I'm a lot more lenient on TOS than I would be on TNG or DS9 or Voyager or Enterprise or, of course, Discovery, which, where no man has gone before was the episode. Thank you, Vinyl Mike, and welcome, Vinyl Mike. So guys, give me 2 minutes, not even. I will be right back. And speaking of the olden days, here are some brand new, but old-time television commercials.
I made you, you know it's true, Mr. Potato Head. I made you. My name is nothing else new, Mr. Potato Head. I made you. I made you, you know it's true, Mr. Potato Head. I made you.
Mr. Potato Head, a toy you can put together yourself from Hasbro.
Hertz introduces great low January sale rates, like $69 a week here in Arizona.
Or only $79 a week here in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah, Arnie? Well, what about $78 a week here in sunny California?
Or, OJ, only $59 a week here in sunny Florida. Brutal, Juice, brutal.
Hertz, you don't just rent a car, you rent a company. 37 years ago, Club Med made a special arrangement with civilization. Send us your frazzled, you're crazed, you're beleaguered, you're burnt out, you're overburdened, you're tension-riddled, and we'll send you back a human being.
From all over the neighborhood, Adventure Team members and equipment arrive at the opening of G.I. Joe headquarters. Flash, a radio message from the tower. Adventure Team member caught in quicksand. Get the maps. Here's the location. Get going, Joe, and good luck. Back in the tower, Joe signals, help on the way. We'll help get there in time. Create your own adventures. G.I. Joe Adventure Team headquarters. G.I. Joes and ATVs sold separately.
There you go. Some old-time commercials. OJ was looking good. I actually tweeted OJ Simpson. I tweeted with that commercial and asked if there was any specific rental car company he was endorsing today. He didn't respond. And Club Med was like the Tinder of the 80s and 90s. You couldn't just go on an app. You'd actually have to fly someplace, so it didn't feel weird. And of course G.I. Joe, but those were old G.I. Joes. Those were G.I. Joes that were even before my time. I was looking for a more modern G.I. Joe commercial, but I just ran out of time. I'll take it. I got it. So Resolute says, hi, Anti-Trigger, continuing discussion from Lore's stream. Actor says, that's why when he wears Tribble, his live audience doubles. Scientific fact. Dan23 says, Troy boobs. Yeah, well, Troy's boobs were the main reason. She got to wear what she wore. Actor says, that's why Mecker triples Anti-Trekker subscribers. Boobs. Yeah. And Mecha is sincere. Okay, Mecker is a sincere nerd person. So the fact that she has boobs, good for her. You know what? I don't blame her. She shouldn't have to cover them up. She has them, you know. She wants to show them off, or not. She's not showing them off, but you know, she wants to have them out there. It's fine. I mean, that's. God bless her. Life with Matthew says, if I were going by golfing scoring rules, I've got the better subscriber count. Life with Matthew. Actor says, ups, Anti-Trekker is here. Yeah, oh, and by the way, people, do check out Life with Matthew's channel. He does amazing videos. He does videos better than me. The videos are dozens of times better than mine. The production quality is probably up there with, you know, anyone else within our group, within our nerd community. I'd say he's equally as good as whoever the best is. He's got some great videos, and he's new. He's got only a handful of subscribers, so you know, come, you can be the first 100. You can be in the first 100. Wesley Crusher says, Berto Prey 5. I sub to you for your singing voice. I love that monotone voice of yours. Thank you, Wes. And I asked what Lore said. I read that earlier. Where are we? How far behind are we? Thank you, Vile. Sean versus Berto Prey 5. You probably have a stalker like Jimmy McElroy, Blades of Glory. Yes, I loved Blades of Glory, mostly because Pam from The Office was in it. But yes, Blades of Glory was a great movie. That stalker, though, that's not the type of stalker I want to have. Resolute Germ says, Laura argued to you. You know, the stalker I'd have would be the stalker Gordon had in Orville. The one that I'd get with, and then they would break up with me. That would be a stalker if I ever had one. Light with Matthew says, just to clarify, I wasn't trying to say that I thought TNG was misogynistic. Just pointing out the hypocrisy of saying TOS and ignoring the worst things in TNG did. Or Voyager, right? Or Voyager, because, oh, let's have a Borg character. Oh, yeah, let's do a Borg. Oh, we've only seen male Borg except the Borg Queen. But let's have a female Borg. Let's make it Jerry Ryan, and let's give her a skin-tight suit for reasons. No one else was wearing a suit that tight. Right? But, yeah, that your own damn show. Huh?
If they were, it didn't look the same.
Right, yeah, they certainly didn't look the same. And the Starfleet uniforms at least left a little bit to the imagination. Nicole Malo says, rats, lol. And the Turkish says, so Lord thinks TOS was sexist or misogynistic. Yes. Actor says, Turkestan is launching bombs to systematically locate your base, Bird. Thomas has seen the last Kong movie and got inspired. While they can do that as long as somebody is signed in to defend the base, that would be within the war treaties. John DeMarco says, regarding TOS, the only thing sexist I can think of is the idea that women can't be captains. But I think the character who said that was just nuts. Well, you know, yeah. Yeah, that was, I think that was the last episode, right? It doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense. Especially when we saw women captains by the TOS movies. Dan23 says, wasn't Gene Roddenberry accused of doing something to an actress that played Janice Rand? Well, yes. I did say to Lore on Lore's stream that TOS wasn't misogynistic. I said Roddenberry probably was, as was pretty common for the time. Pretty common, especially in Hollywood. It's still probably pretty common, but it was certainly more common then. So Roddenberry, shouldn't be deified as a god. That only I should be. And of course, God. But, if a human, that's only me. So Roddenberry wasn't perfect. Roddenberry was a man like anyone else. And like most Hollywood men at the time, if he could use his power to get a little extra loving on the side, I'm sure he did. I can't be sure. I wasn't there. But I think there's enough evidence. We know for a fact that he was sleeping with at least 2 women on the show, and likely more. And God knows how many he promised roles, and it just didn't come through. Wesley says, Bird of Prey 5, you missed my comment. I subbed to you for your great singing voice. Love the monotone singing. Wesley, I just hadn't gotten to it yet, but thank you. Joseph says, Wesley, you're back. Hi. Agner says, while the job roles, characters are written where the general following tradition American roles. Actor says, well, the job roles and characters are written in general following traditional American job roles. Yes. Dan23 says he sang a Beach Boys song once on a live video. Oh, I've sang a lot more than a Beach Boys song. Wesley Crusher says hi to Yosef, I believe. Actor says you have 3 cryo chambers for each player. Yes, Actor, that is because we expect Kuroga will expand. Wesley says, did anyone find the dead Borg cube? Not that I know of. Stromore says, well, we'll see. Bird of Prey. No, there was no Goa'uld sarcophagus. Dan23 says, maybe Christopher Pike said a few sexist things in the cage. I don't recall him saying anything sexist, but the cage is not like a DS9 episode that I remember almost word for word. And the trigger says, so just to make sure I understand, it is your pledge that you want to feed people's bones to a dog. Well, no, not people. Turdistanis. Actor says, well, if the people are already dead, does it not have attained... if the people are already dead, it does not need to be obtained from them violently. That is true. And Dan23 throws in a bone for Sassy. John DeMarco says, I don't know about any comments, but Pike left number 1 in command of a ship. He certainly did. So we knew in the cage, women were certainly allowed to take command. Actor says, Matthew was a very busty drone. Oh, busy drone. Oh, Jesus. Matthew was a very busy drone. I was going to say, why would he be busty? Wesley Crusher says, the Kurogans do have a base. Of course we have a base. Shromore says, anti-tracker ecologically sound to feed the bones to Sassy, better than leaving them piling up. Yeah, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. What's that? Bone, what's that stuff in bones? Marrow, yes. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, marrow to beagles. That's how it goes. Actor says for Thomas that doubted it. Thomas doubted we had a base. Wesley says Kurogans feed people to dogs, not people. Nicole says get the bug a lot when I make mine. Yeah, I got that bug where it shows me outside. I'll be drilling and all of a sudden I'm like on the surface and I'm seeing what's going on. Dark Cahoon says I thought Kuroga was a republic, not a monarchy. When did you have a throne? It is true, Darth. We did start as the the Holy Korogan Republic, and I decided to dissolve the Senate, and I made it the Holy Koroga Empire about 20 hours into the game. Yes. Actor says pretty big installations for a couple of people. Like I said, we are planning ahead. Dan23 says, didn't the actors who played Dax seasons 1 to 6 leave the program because of sexual harassment from one of the writers or producers? I wouldn't say it was sexual harassment. She brings this up on, oh, by the way, What We Left Behind, and you're going to say, oh, Joe, you showed us this last week. No. This is the commercial version made for American audiences. This is not the backer edition that is region unlocked. This one has 40 extra minutes of bonus footage about the writer's room. But it is, in fact, What We Left Behind, the Blu-ray that you can purchase from Shout and will be available on Amazon streaming, both in the United States. I'm not sure Amazon, but certainly iTunes, Amazon, most places, many streaming places, both in the United States and Europe. Come August 6th. So you guys, you want to see this. If you like Deep Space Nine at all, you want to see this. Believe me, it is. It's great. Anyway, Terry Farrell, who plays Jadzia Dax, she has a very emotional part in this. And it wasn't about sexual harassment, at least not what she told the camera. What she told the camera was it was about money. Okay? Their contracts had all ran out at season 6, and so for season 7, they were all being offered new contracts. And, according to her, these are her words, that she was offered a take it or leave it contract. And basically her and a few other of the less important characters, like not Cisco. Cisco, I'm sure, got to name his price. I'm sure Kira got to name her price, more or less. But Jadzia was given kind of a take it or leave it offer. They weren't there to negotiate. They said take it or leave it. They literally told her, if you weren't doing this, you would be like, I forget where, but they told her she'd be a clerk at a store or something. I don't know if they said like a Rite Aid or a Walgreens. I don't know. I don't know if it was Walmart, but they basically said if you weren't doing this, you'd be a clerk somewhere. So you can take it or you can leave it, and we're not going to discuss it with you. And she said no, for her own self-respect. She said F that. She said she cried. She was tearing up. She said, I didn't want to die. I didn't want to be written off the show. But, you know, as an actress, as a person, she felt kind of, I don't know, betrayed, or she felt insulted by their offer. And I gotta say, if that was somebody gave me that, I would probably say, well, everything's negotiable, right? I mean, if Quark taught you anything, everything's negotiable. You know, come back with what you really thought you needed. Now, again, you're actors, you're playing, you know, pretend. And from the main cast, okay, she has more makeup than Cisco or O'Brien, but not as much as Worf, right? And not as much as Quark or Odo, just to get those spots on. So she had to put in more hours than the human characters, but not as much as the others. I mean, some of the others had to put in 8 extra hours a day to get their makeup done. She was probably maybe 2 or 3 hours a day, maybe less, especially if it's just her head, if they don't have to show anything besides her head in an episode. So, yeah, she had some extra hours to put in, But how much do you really need to make? I mean, I can see both sides. If somebody gave me a shitty thing, I'd say, well, F you, I'm leaving, goodbye, and then, but they would call my bluff, which they did, and then they got some other woman, and I did not like Ezri. When season 7 started, I was like, no, why? I was like, just let Dax be dead. Okay, we only have 20-something episodes. I don't want to waste 10 of these episodes getting to know a brand new character when there's only 20-something episodes left. Forget it. I don't want to learn. I don't want to. I mean, there were like 4 or 5 episodes dedicated to just new Dax. And I was like, F that. I don't want to see these episodes. There was a big enough cast already. But they did. And I liked it. You know what? By the time the season was over, I liked Ezri. I was glad she was there. Would I change it now? No. But at the beginning of season 7, I was pissed. I don't want a new Dax. If Dax has to die, then let her die. We don't have time to introduce a new character in the 7th season. Could they have done more with the war? Or could they have done more with the other characters? Like I would have liked to get to know, Garrick more, or Dukat more, or Worf more, or Martok more, Odo more, the other changelings more. I would have liked to know, some back history on the changelings. They could have done so many other things. But Ezri was cute, and she fit in, and by the end of the season, she felt like she had been there the whole time. So, yeah, but no, it wasn't, according to her, it wasn't sexual harassment, it was just money. Which is, I mean, don't get me wrong, both are sad. Had it been sexual harassment, I would have much understood her leaving more. Though I'm glad that she wasn't sexually harassed by the producers. It's more unfortunate to me that she had to leave over something as petty as money. Yosef says, Anti-Trekker, last night's stream, I woke up to my dog barking, saw you online, put my comment, fell asleep, watched your response today in the morning. Yosef, that's how I used to do it. When Anti-Trekker used to stream at 11 at night, Eastern, I couldn't be awake for that. I'd sometimes put a comment in, I'd always watch his stream the next day in the morning. These days, now that he streams around 8 p.m., I can generally watch his stream. But then I have nothing to watch the next morning, which is annoying. So Anti-Trekker, do 2 streams, right? Do your 8 p.m. stream. And hopefully Anti hasn't gone nuts now Sassy's barking. Do your 8 p.m. stream. Then come back on around midnight. Do another stream so I have something to watch when I wake up. Thank you, please. I'll give you a super chat. Actor says Kuroga is a republic with a... Sassy girl, please. Kuroga is a republic with a president that wins all elections for life, a little like Castro's Cuba. No, I dissolved the Senate. They were being insolent. It's an empire now. Surf Tricktronics, welcome Surf Tricktronics. Is Bird, do people really get buried in concrete in New York and no one notices?
Yes.
Mom O'Prey was very quick to say yes. They used to. Not so much these days. John DeMarco says, I thought Terry Farrell Dax left DS9 because she got a job at another show. Well, she wanted jobs on other shows, and she thought that she was going to be able to be a bigger time actor, actress, whatever the proper term is. And so I think she wanted more money than they were giving her, and they basically literally told her that you are one of the least valuable people. I mean, they didn't say those words, but by telling her it was a take it or leave it and a low ball offer, they basically were saying that they thought she was one of the least important people on the cast, and that she would probably just... They assumed she would take any deal just to remain a working actress, but she didn't. Anti-Trigger says, you really should stop hiding. Not very becoming a dictator to be hiding in a hole. Oh, wait, that's right. That's exactly what happened to Saddam Hussein. Nicole is lolling at Anti-Tracker. Well, yes, you know what? When you have an enemy that has temporarily superior firepower and no morals, you have to hide. I don't like having to hide, but that's what we have to do. Yeah, Nicole is lolling. Actor says it would be great if you want and you could go to that Comic-Con, Joe. I thought about it, Hector. I doubt getting into Comic-Con this year is a possibility, but perhaps meeting people who are coming to New York to go to Comic-Con is a possibility. Nicole says never had a vehicle fire, but had a car with had a stuck horn. Ouch. Hector says for $40 I could manage to pay a couple of guys to throw you in a van and drive you 100 miles away. That is, yeah, Hector, I appreciate it, but I prefer just a little bit more comfort. Yeah, comfort. Darth Calhoun says, or if they got rid of the environmental regulations and unions, they could actually build a good public transportation system in New York with the quality of Tokyo, but they don't because it's the USA. Yeah, the problem with our public transportation system is that while they technically allow wheelchairs, every day I get emails about all the elevators broken. Not a day goes by where some elevator I would probably be required to take to get into the city, or possibly take to get into the city, isn't broken. I'm like, well, what the hell good is having elevators, and when you have one elevator per station with no backup, and the elevator's broken down, 15% of the time. I can't make plans to use the elevator to get to a train station if I can't be sure it's going to be working when I get home, because then what? Then you're effed. Then you are effed, royally effed. That's why I prefer ramps. Even if I got to ramp up and down for 5 minutes to get somewhere, it's better than an elevator. At least the ramp very rarely is closed. Wesley Crusher's Bird of Prey, San Diego Comic-Con tickets sell out faster than you can say tickets are on sale. Yeah, I'm sure they do. I'm guessing New York is probably the same. Actor says, does Bird have a porno collection like his cryopod like Hussein? I did not know Hussein had a porn collection. This is Bird of Prey 5 with the channel growing. Just set up a GoFundMe, and some of us might chip in. It's a possibility, Yosef. Though I do have a GoFundMe, but it's for medical things. If I do a GoFundMe, I will let you guys know. I have to think about it. Wesley says, Bird of Prey 5, if you do the fundraiser, I will put in a little. Well, thank you, Wesley. Dan23 says, the London Underground is only 50% underground. Dan23 says, the trains in England could be quicker, but they don't have lots of straight tracks like Japan. Nicole says, 972 miles from New York. If I have a job, maybe need to plan and hope I can pull it off. Resolute says, the extent of Grandbird's parenting. I don't know. The extent of Grandpa Bird's parenting. Did I mention Grandpa Bird? Mamo Prey. Yes. Oh, right. Yes, Mamo Prey's father. Yes, my grandfather, but he had passed away before I was born, so I never technically thought of him as grandfather, but he is. Yes, it is who I am named after. So yes, Mamo Prey's father was Birdo Prey 4, and that's what I'm named after. Dan23 says, don't accidentally press input on the TV remote control. Now that's a bad thing. Vile Mike says, howdy folks, welcome Vile Mike. Miss Pac-Man says also our trains get canceled if the wrong kind of leaves fall on them. That sucks. Nicole says need more input. Lol, short circuit. Yes. Input. Input. Need input. Oh, what was the girl's name? Linda? Stacy? I don't know. It's gonna bother me. Cinnabon says, have a good night, everyone. Take a good night, Cinnabon. Surf Trictronics says Bozo the Clown and Mr. Bean are getting a dynamic duo reboot. They also have X-Men powers. Dan23 says Stargate shows reuse a lot of actors to play different characters. I don't always like it. John DeMarco says thanks for posting Dave's video. It was great. I guess somebody else posted it. Vile Mike says Dan23. What is that guy suddenly doing in the Pegasus Galaxy? Oh, new character. Dan23 says the Stargate animation series was made a different company. That's why it has differs and not canon. Vile Mike says, but Stargate Infinity did have a kick-ass theme song. Where No Man Has Gone Before. That was the episode. Yeah, we were talking about the galactic barrier. Dan23 is Vile Mike. Yeah, that guy in the original Stargate movie, and then later plays Lucius in Atlantis. Daniel's Hot Topics was Bird of Prey. Bird Galactus is coming to the MCU. Well, maybe he can finally restore some order, or is Galactus gonna be a woman? Vile Mike said, sassy girl, please. I know you're feeding her. Vile Mike says, incidentally, that will also be the next TOS review Vile Child and I will be doing. Oh, very cool, Vile Mike. Check out Vile Mike's channel, too, and check out his eBay store. John DeMarco says, of course, Where No Man Has Gone Before is another excuse to call TOS sexist. Yeah, I always go Where No Man Has Gone Before. That is the appropriate term. Vile Mike says he did not die. It was a rogue Asgard that abducted him from Abydos and mind-wiped him and dropped him in Pegasus. Wesley says there should be an anti-tricker Mr. Potato Head toy. It's a lot of hair. A lot of hair for that. Resolute Germ says, gotta go. Good night. I'll take care, Resolute Germ. Thank you for hanging out with us. Dan23 says, say what? Nicole says, Bird of Prey, could you give me a town close to Manhattan? Trying to get closer than a raw guess. Well, I mean, if you were putting it into like a Google map, if you wanted to put in Astoria, New York, that would be Astoria. That's technically a part of Queens, a neighborhood of Queens. But if you put in just Astoria, New York, you would come up with that. That is as close as to Manhattan as you can get in Queens. Just New York is what Manhattan would be called if you were searching for that. Or New York City, yeah. But New York is the county. It's New York County is the island of Manhattan. Brooklyn, New York. I mean, Brooklyn, New York is pretty damn close. Everybody knows, every mapping service would have Brooklyn, New York. My neighborhood is Bayside, New York. You could put that in. Not terribly far from the city. Certainly close compared to 972 miles. And, yeah, that would be it. Newark, New Jersey. There's a big airport there that brings people into the city. Though you do not want to stay in Newark, New Jersey. It's just a reference point, but don't make a hotel in Newark, New Jersey. Yeah. Vile Mike says, don't count yourself. Oh, yes. Yes, that made me laugh before. I don't need to repeat it. Oh, Dongo is here. Dongo Gaming on PS4 says, huh. Welcome back, Dongo. Long time no see. Nicole says, miles from my town to the con in New York. Vinyl Mike says, you're welcome. Well, thank you. Anti-Trigger says, I just finished building a ship. Have not tried to fly it yet. Should be on my live stream. Should I do it on my live stream or just record it? It's up to you. I say do it on the live stream, but obviously you've probably already made up your decision by now. Dan23 says, I googled notifications to stay. Star Trek Discovery Season 3 won't be airing too late. Won't be airing until late 2020? Wow, a Google notification, Discovery Season 3? So they're going to do Picard and then Discovery. I gotta say, that really will increase the rumors that Discovery Season 3 isn't happening. I wouldn't be surprised if Discovery Season 3 was just replaced by a bunch of short tracks. I don't think they can build a universe 1,000 years in the future with a lone ship. A ship that if we've now they ignore their own canon many times, but if we were to believe the short track Calypso, we already know Discovery's ultimate fate. So how can they have a show called Star Trek Discovery if they're not even going to be on the starship Star Trek Discovery? But thank you, Dan. I'm going to look into that. Daniel's Hot Topics is Anti-Trigger when you on tonight. He usually goes on around 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Wesley tells Anti-Trigger to do it on live stream. And Anti-Trigger says, oh, and one other thing. Oh, great. My live stream tonight will be a bit late. I have to go to a meeting and not sure exactly when I'll get home. Well, I guess I'll be watching it in the morning. Daniel's Hot Topics says Anti-Trigger, Actor says, hi to Vinyl Mike. Anti-Trigger says, looks like someone broke the treaty. Our base was attacked today where nobody was online. I was told there were people online, but I didn't attack. I did not attack. Neither did nobody from Kuroga attack. Nicole says, I have to check out Anti-Tracker. I was in crypto, so I hope I'm okay. Hello, Nicole, you're a turd, Nicole? You're a turdistani? That is, Nicole. Nicole, why? Darren's Hot Topics says Anti-Tracker Galactus joined the MCU. Actor says there's no way to find out who it was, Anti-Tracker. You talk to Wes or Cinnabon. Anti-Tracker says, I'm guessing it was Cinnabon. He may not have realized that he broke the treaty. Wesley says Bird is about a half hour behind the chat. It's 41 after the hour. See how long it takes him to get to this. 29 minutes behind. Yes. Wesley, Actor says it will be a while. Dan23 says all of Deep Space Nine was better than The Cage. That is absolutely true. Wesley Crusher says Anti-Tracker was Cinnabon. You and 3 other turds were on at the time. Anti-Trigger says about the worst thing Pike said in The Cage was that he could not get used to women on the bridge. Which is kind of weird since in Enterprise there were women on the bridge. Wesley Crusher says Anti-Trigger not sure if you saw the chat in game, but he said he was coming. Anti-Trigger says Wesley, we were not online at the time our base was attacked. Well, I don't know. Wesley's the server administrator. You sure you weren't connected? Maybe you had stepped away from your computer? Actor says Thomas was online when Cinnabon attacked, and another guy, I think. Actor says maybe they were AFK, away from keyboard. Well, if you're connected to the game and away from keyboard, there's no way for an attacker to know that. Actor says Turdistam seemed pretty alive at the time in global chat. Anti-Tracker seems like even your buddies are disagreeing. Wesley says, anti-tracker, it showed you, Admiral Savala, and another player on, I forget who. Agnes says, that's why using Discord voice chat is necessary. Well, you don't want to give away that it was an attack. Wesley says, Actor, I think it was Actor. Anti-tracker says, Wesley, I noticed that if you're in a cryopod, it shows you online even when you are not. I don't think that's true. Actor says, I am not in Turkestan, I am in TVO, the vile ones, yes. Wesley says, Actor is right, we should be using Discord chat. Actor says, when Wesley said they won, you said something, anti-tracker. Actor says, about them not destroying your base. Wesley says, anti-tracker, alright, Turkestan has every right to attack, steal, or kill Cinnabon Nation in revenge. Anti-tracker says, well, frankly, I think it's wrong you guys decided to suddenly just become enemies of Turkestan after pretending to be neutral all this time. Or did you attack Kuroga as well? Why would they attack the merciful and peaceful nation of Kuroga? Actor says maybe they are trying to maintain a balance of power. That's a possibility. Wesley says, anti-tracker, I tried to trap and kill Bird, but it failed. So it was a trap, you dirty bastard. Anti-tracker says, Nicole says 956 miles as the crow flies, so round trip, ticket, con, autograph, hey, spending the money if I go. If I can, I'd be a waste not to get something. Maybe a goodie hotel, Well, Nicole, you kind of need a ticket already. Anti-tracker says, okay, I have my doubts, and frankly, I am kind of not okay with that. You got attacked in a game where we get attacked. That's what happened. Dan23 says Odo's appearance did change slightly between seasons 2 and 3. Anti-tracker says, anyway, I have to go. Take care, Anti-tracker, even though you probably left. Wesley says Turkestan is by far ahead, the ahead team. Wesley, you don't need to be telling our secrets. Kurogan secrets. Dan23 says Star Trek 4 in the Kelvin timeline didn't get made because it was more money. Money. Yes, it was all money. Wesley says end with the most players. Yes. Turkestan has the most players and hence why they are far ahead in the space race. Wesley says, and yes, the most players. Andrew says Wesley does not mean the Abins should suddenly start attacking them. Nicole says, hang on, let me see if this works right. I should be able to pull up the game while it's going. Wesley says, Vile Ones is 2 players. Kurogan's is 2 plus Bird. Actors is 2 plus Bird or 3 or 1. 2 plus me. And Commander Shutter hasn't been in the game, I don't think, for a week. Wesley says, Anthony, wait, you said in-game and you wanted to know that I could die. I was even going to show you that I could die, but we crashed our ship and died. Vile Mike, sorry, I was driving. Who attacked who? Wesley and Cinnabon attacked the anti-trekker team, the Turkestans. Actor says Cinnabon west to yes. Dan23 says the actors who played Ezra was also an episode of Atlantis. Ezri? Yeah. Or Ezra. No, we're talking Stargate. Ezra, okay. Hector says, I heard the distinct impression that the people of Turkestan were playing at the time too. Yep, it sounds like they were. Sounds like another Turkestani attempt at media manipulation. Fake news. Those Turkestani bots. For shame, anti-tracker. Vile Mike says, Hector, I know, I just know we do not attack. Wesley says, anti-tracker, we lost our large ship due to gravity. That was 2 days worth of building. Agnes says, no, I was too busy crashing the Peri Negra. Vile says, you crashed her again. Agnes says, I took video, I'll post it when the depression passes. Hector says, again, it was the only time. And Vile Mike says, damn, sorry, Hector. Yesterday I scratched the Prospector. Damn, you guys have a lot of ships. Mystique agrees with me. Thank you, Mystique. I'm not sure what at this point. Vile Mike says, last time I was on, you said you damaged the engines. Actor says the Vile Prospector. Vile Mike says, I will go on after work around 7-ish local. Yeah, I'll probably go on after I eat, which will be after this stream. Actor says, Gravity took out Kurogan, Cinnabon, and Vile ships. She doesn't discriminate. Yes, Gravity is a heartless D-word. Vile Mike says, Gravity is a harsh mistress, but she is fair. That's a much better way of putting it. Dan23 says, they say people who travel in wheelchairs get to see places we don't because they have to travel around. Yeah, we get to see places you don't, like urine-soaked elevators of train stations and poorly cleaned ramps, and I have to go around the block sometimes because the sidewalk is too cracked to get down. That's true. Maybe in a nice city where things are clean and sidewalks are flat. That's true. Not in New York. Dan20, I just read that. V says Stephanie was the woman. Yes, Stephanie. Need input, Stephanie. And then she had no clothes on. Stephanie. Johnny 5 was like, oh, Stephanie. Yeah. What did she have? She was throwing her boyfriend out at the beginning of the movie. And the Indian guy who wasn't Indian. I didn't know he wasn't really Indian. I didn't know he was a white guy until recently, playing an Indian. He did a good job. Dan23 says Star Trek Discovery Season 2 arriving on Blu-ray and DVD, and nobody cares. Wesley says there's a dead board cube-looking ship somewhere near his Anti's ground base. Cinnabon and my failed attempt to destroy Anti-Tracker space station. Parts for the picking. Dan23 says Star Trek Discovery Season... in November. Arriving on Blu-ray and DVD in November. Wow, that's quite a... It's a few months. Dan23 says Anson Mount says that Discovery Season 2 was coming to Blu-ray on November 12th. CBS has now provided us with official announcement details. Wesley says, Bird of Prey, we live 2,777 miles apart. Wow. Very cool. Dan23 says, Discovery Season 2 release includes 2 hours of bonus material. Is it 1 hour of the Michael Burnham death loop? Because I'll give them permission to put it on. But only 2 episodes of Star Trek short tracks are included. Runaway and The Brightest Star. Why? Why would they do that? What? I can't. I mean, it is so crazy. Why the hell would they bring out a DVD Blu-ray set, include 2 short tracks, but not 2 other short tracks? That's just more CBS nonsense for you. Miss Pac-Man says plus a 100-hour documentary titled The Awesomeness of Burnham. That's probably it. They couldn't fit it on. They had to make more room for Michael Burnham still photos. Dan says there's more than 2. Yes, there's 4 short tracks as of right now. Wesley says Bird of Prey, Cinnabon and I did attack his base and lost the ship. Now Turtlestand has every right to revenge however they feel. Anti-Tracker says, Wesley, you missed the point. I have no clue where you guys are. And even if I did, I'm sure we could not even begin to do any damage. Well, Anti-Tracker, that sounds a lot like how I feel right now as Kuroga. We have no idea where your space station is. And even if we did, we couldn't begin to do any damage. And yet, I still live in fear that you're going to attack me. So forgive me if I am not as understanding that you do not fear a enemy with superior firepower at this time. You guys have more people and more resources than they do. So yeah, they have more knowledge, but at least you have more people. Kuroga doesn't have the people or the experience. Anti-Trigger says we have 0 offensive ships. You got a lot of guns, okay? Just trying to fly near your base, I was killed. And it wasn't even an intentional flyby. Dan23 says, just noticed the Garfield. Oh, yeah. Garfield's been here a while. Chief Cook says, hi, Anti-Trekker. Welcome, Chief Cook. You're coming in towards the end of the stream again. Wesley says, Anti-Trekker, I'm not sure how much damage we did, but we destroyed our own ship in the process. It was a lose for us as well. We only have a small ship now. Anti-Trekker says, and just changing from neutral to attacking because you felt like it makes for a much less stable environment in the game. Oh yeah, if you were neutral, you should have declared war. I will give you that. Anti-Trigger says you destroyed what Thomas took many hours building. And again, I feel bad, but that is the point of this game. The point of this game is to destroy what the other people build. If we wanted to live in total peace and not attack each other, then we could do that. We could have a peace summit, and we could outlaw fighting, and we could all even join one team, or we just all make peace with each other. But Karoga lives in constant fear that the hours of work that we put into it, and mostly Life with Matthew, has put in days and days of work into our base, right? At any point that one of us is online, and we could be 20 kilometers away from the base getting resources, but just the fact that one of us is online, at any time somebody from Turkestan could just throw some weapons on one of your freighters, or whatever the hell you want to call it, and just fly by our base and destroy days and days worth of work. So that is the whole point of the game. I don't like it, but that's what we play. If we were afraid that we were going to lose this stuff to an attack, we shouldn't be playing the game, or we should outlaw attacking right now. We could just do attacks on set days. Maybe, I don't know, Monday through Saturday is peace, we can't attack each other, and then Sunday at a certain time, everybody knows that that's the day that we can attack each other. I'm not sure. That's not the best solution, because I'm sure Sunday's not good for somebody, but we could figure something like that out. Like that episode of TOS where they civilized war, and so they stopped destroying the buildings, and the computer just told which people to go report to be killed. That's what we could do. So I mean, this is the entire point of the game. I feel for Thomas, who put hours into building things. I put hours into building things, even though those things didn't look particularly attractive to you. I put hours into building things. Everybody's put hours into building things. And we know they're at constant threat of attack. Where were you at? Dan23 says the wheelchair ramp at the library makes people all the way around the side of the building. Yeah, a lot of wheelchair ramps are in the back of the building or whatever, down an alley, a shit-covered alley. They go, oh, yeah, you could get in here. Just come in through the kitchen. I don't care. Honestly, I really don't. But yes, it's annoying. But on the other hand, the fact that they have wheelchair access at all is good. But wheelchair access is not equal. We'll just say that. Neither equal between establishments, nor is it equal to the, main entrances that everybody else gets to use. And I'm not saying they need to be. I'm just saying that they aren't. Wesley says, Anti-Trigger, you have a point. What should be the wait time for declaring war on a team? John DeMarco says that they included the 2 worst short tracks. Logical. Well, certainly, yeah, they did. Oh, they absolutely did. Exactly. Yeah, Runaway was the worst piece of crap they've ever come up with. And Calypso was just boring. It wasn't terrible. And the Harry Mudd one, the Escape Artist, that one was actually decent. It just wasn't Harry Mudd. And then, yeah, The Brightest Star was again a total crap fest. Almost as bad as Runaway. So bad they even had to erase what the name of the shuttle was. So on the later, when they actually brought the show, when they actually caught up to the show in the short tracks, they digitally edited the short track scene to take the Shinzu name off of the shuttle. They can't even keep their own canon in line from what was just maybe 2 months before. Crazy, crazy. And the trick is, I know, but it felt like a dick move. Oof. Consider you guys had free reign at our base. Well, yeah, if they had to have declared war. Anti-Trigger says, would some resources be a suitable repayment? War reparations, says Vile Mike. Chief Cook says he's getting angry. Anti-Trigger says, I'm not worried about the resources. It's not a big deal. We were not prepared for an attack because we knew Bird could not have attacked. But you don't know Bird couldn't have attacked. Let's just be clear. Josh Reed says, breaking news. Evil dictator Bird of Prey 5 has said today that the Kurogan space program is a bust and he lives in fear of Turkestan. That is not what I said. But I live in fear that, my hard work could be destroyed at any given moment. And it has been twice. I've had 2 bases. I did the Great Temple and I had an ice base just completely disappear from the game. I spent hours and hours on the temple and I spent hours on the ice base and woke up and they're just gone. So, the world's smallest violin here. Chief Cook says Bird was already here. Anti-Trickers anyway, gotta go. Take care, Anti-Tricker. It's just a game. We will manage. Chief Cook says death to Kuroga. No, death to all Kuroga. No. Vile Mike says server is still Kuroga versus Turkestan, so your 2 teams should always be prepared for war. I agree. Wesley says Anti-Tracker, I see your view. Actor says I fear for the day Turkestan comes for us, so yeah, Actor. This is why Kuroga and Vile Ones and all of the other factions, we need to rally. You guys need to rally behind Kuroga, and we can put an end to the Turd Menace once and for all. Wesley says, Bird of Prey, it sounds like a fair. We wait time before declaring or actually being able to attack. It's not up to me. I don't care. Because I'm pretty much at war with everyone right now, except the Vile Ones and you guys. And to be honest, whether you gave us a day's notice or not, if you guys attacked Kuroga, we would be dead anyway, so it wouldn't really matter. Dan23 says Star Wars is not called Peace Wars. Vile Mike says if they do, then we retaliate. Chief Cook says we need to call an ambassador to end this bloodshed between Bird and the Anti-Tricky. I wasn't involved, okay? I wasn't involved in this. Vile Mike says luckily our base is on the far side of the planet. Yeah, and without that speed mod, it's much more difficult to get to. Wesley says, Bird of Prey, I like the idea of everyone teaming up, making the world more deadly, cyborg dogs, and meteor showers in space. Wow. Vile says, going to war on the Sabbath, how dare you suggest that, Bird? I like it. Chief Cook is lolling. Dan is lolling. Chief Cook is Anti-Trigger. You and Bird need to shake hands and make up. I wasn't in this battle. Wesley says, Thomas Potts, I'm willing to pay a resource price for attacking and to ensure a friendly game. And Thomas is not here, Wes. Lightning struck near his house and his internet is out. He texted me at the beginning of the stream. So Thomas is not on. He can't hear you. I imagine he will check this out later. But if you're on Discord, message him on Discord, and just, or I guess he's in the Skype call, whatever. Let him know what's going on. Dr. Alex is in the house. Hello, Bird of Prey, and everyone. Welcome, Dr. Alex. Just about to get to the end of the stream, Dr. Alex. Wesley says, Bird of Prey, is the death trap, pyramid, still there? Wesley, I don't know. I haven't been back to it. Last I saw, there was a giant hole where the thrones were, but I haven't been back to the pyramid today or yesterday. Oh man. Okay, well, there were some things I was. Oh man. Oh. I had a song, but I completely forgot to prepare for the song. John Araki, are you still here? If John Araki is here, I will do the song. Otherwise, we will do it on the next Bet Live. Since John Araki was the one who requested it. Cinnabon says yes, he ran into it and died. Dr. Alex is just in time for bed then. Wesley says, Cinnabon, you missed it. Anti-Tracker was here. Yeah, and he was not happy. Dr. Alex says, you don't need to prepare. You're a pro. I could do it if I have to. It's John Araki's request. So if he's here, I will do it now, if he wants me to. But if he's not here, I will wait until John Araki is back. So I'm thinking John Araki is not here, so we will save that for next time, which is absolutely, I'm sure it's fine with everybody. Mike Richards is here, says greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards from Columbus, Ohio. There was a couple of things I just wanted to show real quick. That is a fish tank. No singing, says Chief Cook. I know. Okay. You guys lucked out. No singing. Okay, well, this is the base. I already showed that. The Deep Space Nine documentary, somebody showed me this tweet that Captain Sisko himself saw in the What We Left Behind documentary. Basically, Cliff Notes, he said he liked it and he would watch it again. He's seen it at least twice and he was going to watch it again. So that's cool. And then I already announced this, but for you guys in Europe, here's the official announcement. What We Left Behind, looking back at Star Trek Deep Space Nine, will be available digitally next week in the EU on August 6th. You can purchase or rent it on a variety of platforms, including iTunes, and that is not only for Europe, that is also for North America. So quite a lot of us, even if you have not purchased it, will be able to rent it or purchase it digitally in just a few days. And there was the Make Klingons Great Again hat. That's old news. Yeah, that's what it looked like. I showed you guys that last time. And I think that's it. That's probably it for today. So, short news day. Yeah, Wesley tells Cinnabon Anti-Tracker was mad. Cinnabon says, I saw the end of it. I'll watch the replay later so I can react to the full chat. Yeah, it's going to take a couple hours for YouTube to finish processing this. It's a long one. Thank you guys all for coming here and showing up and chatting with me. I really, really appreciate it. It seems like a really good time tonight. Mamo Pray is waving good night to everyone. I'm going to eat some dinner soon, and then I will probably show up on Space Engineers for some time. I don't know for how long, but I'll probably get on the game tonight. And Besiege, I was trying to get some, I was trying to figure out that next level that I ended on when Camille came on Thursday. By the way, Camille's doing very good. We were very happy to see her, but she surprised us. Apparently there was a bug in Besiege because all I did was kill the people, and that level that was supposed to destroy everything said completed. So technically that level will have already been conquered by the time we play it. But of course, when I tried to play it again and seeing if just killing the people...
Scotty, beam me up.
Scotty, beam me up. Oh, John Araki with another $1 super chat. Thank you so much, John Araki. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Huh? Oh, you're here, John Araki. You are here. John Araki, would you like the song today or would you like it next time? It's completely up to you. I can do it. I can do it. Yes, Wesley yelled super chat. Thank you. Well, you let me know. It's no rush. Your choice, Bird. Well, John, if you don't mind, I will save it to next time. It'll give us something to do, and I think my voice is about had it for today. But yeah, so Besiege, there was a bug, but don't worry, we're still gonna play that level next time I'm on. But if I really can't get past it, technically the game already thinks I did. So we'll see. Vile Mike says, damn it, John, now he's gonna sing. No, I'm not. Thank you guys all for coming and hanging out and all that good stuff. Check out everybody's channels I mentioned. Vile Mike, Life with Matthew. Cinnabon is broadcasting space engineer stuff these days. I'm not sure if Wesley has a channel. John Araki. A lot of people. Check out people's channels. Sci-Fi Guy says, Night, Birdo Prey, Mama Prey, Sassy, and Chat. Thank you so much, Sci-Fi Guy. And remember, for those of you who weren't here, Anti-Tracker said he will be streaming later than usual tonight. He has a meeting, and he's not sure what time that meeting's going to end. So don't be surprised if he's not on by, 8:30, 9 p.m. Eastern. No time. No telling when he'll be on. Qapla, take care. Good night. And hail Kuroga. Thank you all for watching my video. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon. Without it, you won't get notifications of new videos. Check out BirdoPrey5.com, the new home of everything Birdo Prey 5 on the web. You can also check out my forum at juot.net. I'm also on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Gab. If you'd like to make a donation, check out paypal.me/BirdoPrey5 or on BirdoPrey5.com. Take care.